Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at Bitcoin. We'll do some price analysis. We'll have a look at some key levels of the past, or some key levels that we could aim for in the future. We'll have a look at the low time frames and the higher time frames to see really what the hell is going on. It's at that point now where there's a little bit of indecision. We've had a good pump this year. We've had 5-6 months of solid price action. We have had some dips in between. But it is getting to that point where we're thinking, is this the start of a new phase? Or is this just a bear market rally? For me, I think we have gone past that bear market rally now. And we'll jump into the charts to explain why. So you might think, whoa, what's going on, Andy? It looks like a laser show. Plenty of things going on this chart. This is the Bitstamp chart. And it goes all the way back to Monday, the 1st of August 2011. If you look at that first major cycle of Bitcoin, and we'll zoom in. We had some all-time highs back in 2013. A year after that, we hit the lows, and then we went on to the new bull market after that. In 2017, we had that major run. We hit the highs. A year after that, we hit the lows, and then we continued. In between these lows, there's usually around 35 bars, which is equivalent to 1,000 days-ish till the next high. The same happened here. We hit those lows around a year after 12 bars. And then we went on to a bull cycle which lasted 35 bars, which is 1,066 days. And the high up there was around 69k. Looking to the current period, we've had a bearish period since November 2021. Drop, boom, we've dropped a significant amount from the highs to the lows. It's around 70%. A year after that, or just after, it's around 13 bars out. It's just over a year. We've started to push up. Just be wary in the previous cycle that once we had a push up, we had a COVID dumping in there. So there's plenty of things to go on. 35 bars. If we now foresee 35 bars on the chart, that takes us to around November 2025. Could that be the cycle top where we look to take profit? Will history repeat itself again? Who knows? But you've got to use historic facts to look at what can go in the future. We have had a decent rise this year. I mean, Bitcoin, let's just zoom into the daily. We'll go right back to the beginning of the year, which was around here. Let's just move that away. Yep, so it's around there. 18th of November, we hit those lows, and then ever since then, we have made a significant price rise from the highs to the lows. We've done around a 100% move, which is massive. This could be, and I believe it is, in my opinion, the start of the next bull cycle. There is at that point knowing that, yes, it could go down. There's a lot of world disasters that could go on, that could pull us down. But there's also a lot of things going in our favour if you're a crypto holder and a Bitcoin maximalist, a crypto maximalist. And we've had banking sector failing. We've had Silicon Valley. We've had First Republic Direct. DB put a tweet out over there around 5 or 6 different banks which were in negative price territory. There's a lot going in Bitcoin's favour. Although the price has not been the most desirable over the last 18 years, for me, I still think it's an asset that we should use to hedge against the current banking system. And that's why I own Bitcoin. I sold some of my Bitcoin and I rebought back. I bought a nice chunk of Bitcoin at around 24k, around here. I just managed to get in before that pump and currently sitting at a decent amount up there from there, looking like 20% in some cases. It was a decent buy. I will look to add if we come back down lower. And people asking what's going to go in with the price, what's going to go on next. I mean, I've got this is the 15-minute time frame here on Bitcoin. Who knows what's going to go on next? Who knows if we're going to come up and test these highs again before anything? We've got a big day today. It's the FOMC meeting, which they are announcing interest rates. So far, they're factoring in a 25 basis points rate hike, which could slam the Bitcoin price down, but they're going to pause at some point, and when it pauses, we're going to move. Potentially this month, potentially next month, it is coming. There's a lot of management that the government and the Fed have to do now with the mismanagement of the banks. Also, the mismanagement of banks can be interpreted in the mismanagement of politicians printing off money. It's the same if you ever watch a Godfrey Bloom video, I don't know when it was, 2011 maybe. It talks about a banking crisis. It talks about the fact that politicians are being put in positions where they are eligible to print off money. If me and you did that as as a standalone, if we went and printed off 10, 20 quid, we'd get thrown in jail for that. What politicians are doing, quantitative easing, is printing off money and then putting countries more in debt. Bitcoin is a way against that. You should be, in my opinion, loading up as much Bitcoin as you can, because at some point, some of these banks, which are already happening, are going to explode. It's happening in the US, it's happening to Deutsche Bank, Santander, Barclays. Some of these massive banks are going to implode if they just keep dishing out money, printing it off. It is down to the governments, the Fed, the UK banks, the UK government, all of these massive countries, not just US and it's the same all across Europe. The EU are doing it. It's an absolute carnage what's going on. It's a scandal basically, and they're printing off money left, right and centre and putting everything into debt. For me, Bitcoin is the answer. It has been the answer for the last 10 years, and it will be the answer in the next 10 years. And by now could be real life changing. It is currently at $28,000, and let's have a look at some price analysis, see where I think we can go. If we just jumped out to the hourly, let's get rid of those EMAs, and let's have a zoom in. You could say we are potentially forming a large bull flag here. If you look at this for mast here, and then if we look at this here, this is the flag that we are forming. It's a big flag, but nevertheless, it is a bull flag on the higher time frames. Well, I say higher, the hourly time frame. That is something that we could potentially look to break out. We could also drop back down here to 28,200 before push up, and then go and retest that 29 to 30k region. I think that's definitely possible, but it just depends on what goes on with FOMC today. Personally, I think the rate hike to 25 BPS will slam down, and then I think we'll push back up towards this region. But again, I'm not trading it because the markets are so indecisive at the minute. We just do not know what's going on. Longer term, on the high time frames here, Bitcoin, even if we pull back from these levels, let's have a look at some support levels. We've got, this is a major support level here. You can see all these bounces off at 27k. It's a nice number 27. If you believe it or not. And then below that, we've got some other levels at 24,800, where the majority of people seem to think we're going to go. I've heard a lot of people saying, look, we're going to push up to 30k, we're going to come back to 25k, which is around 24,700, 24,800, and then bounce. People are usually wrong. I mean, maximum pain for me personally, I will think, is we push up. There's a lot of shorts going on at the minute. Let me just have a look on Trading Light. So have a look on here. This is Trading Light. This tells you a lot of stuff that's going on the order books. And if we look at the 4 hour, this is the Bitcoin Binance chart. As you can see, look there. There's not much orders in the way, to be honest. All the way up to 29,400. 196 Bitcoin sell order there. If you look up to 30k, that's where the next major sell order is at 460. And beyond that, I mean, it just starts to thicken up a little bit, but I think 30k is on the cards over the next few days to potentially. But then again, if you look at the downside, there's not many buy orders, to be honest. We've got some major support at 27,500, and we've got some at 28k. Those are levels that we monitor. But also just remember that these orders can be spoofed and can get pulled out. So if price starts pushing up and we get to 30k, they're going to either slam the price back down, or we're going to get removed and we're going to push up towards, I don't know, 30,500. Etc. So the order book, in my opinion, is looking a little bit thin to the upside, but also just as thin to the downside, down to 28k. So just be wary if you're trading with leverage, your price could get slammed up in either direction. One thing to note though, if we look at the 4 hour time frame, this is the spot chart. On this candle here, this is delta. So delta is negative delta, the one to the downside is market sells. Positive delta is the push up, and which is market buys. Currently, price is going up, and we have negative delta. I mean, it is a little bit of a doji candle, so it's showing indecision, but just be wary of what could go on there. But for me, I think we've got a good chance of pushing up with that negative delta on that chart. So for me, thoughts. It's a very volatile day in the markets with FOMC. Just be wary of any slams to the upside or slams to the downside, because that is liquidation. It is liquidating the longs, liquidating the shorts, and it is that time when you shouldn't be trading unless you like that volatility. I'm sitting out a trade today on Bitcoin. I'm in a bit of an Arbitrum trade for now, which I did share in my private Telegram group. If you want to join our private Telegram group, and we cover many assets. We'll look at meme coins, we'll look at day-to-day trading. I personally am a day trader from most days, apart from FOMC days. But if you want to join that Telegram group, just drop in the comments and I'll send that link. Only ask you that you sign up to our OKX affiliate link, and that is it. You can come into a group for free, no paid groups over here. But that's it. That's my thoughts on the market, on Bitcoin. I'm not going to give any price targets yet, North, because it's still early days. Let's get today out of the way, and then we'll have a look at some decent levels. But that's it. If you're new here, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.